Good evening. It's a military mission in North St. Louis. Heavily armored vehicles are rolling into town, and while they come in peace, there are all kinds of rumors about why they are here. News Channel 5's Casey Nolan is live somewhere in St. Charles County, where he got an up-close look at the military vehicles. Casey?
Yeah, Mike, in order to get that up-close look, we've agreed not to say exactly where in St. Charles County we are tonight and where these vehicles will be parked overnight. The Army doesn't want that information to be made public for security reasons, but we can tell you why they are here. Now, this may not be such a huge deal that these rigs are in town if not for the speculation that was coming via the internet today. St. Louis police first put out the word that people may see these armored security vehicles in their neighborhood, especially near the Army Reserve Armory in North St. Louis on Goodfellow. But that was about all the information they released. On the KSTK Facebook page in just a few hours, we had more than 100 people weighing in on what was going on, with comments ranging from people saying they would stop and salute if they saw the vehicles to others worried this was the beginning of martial law. Well, it turns out this is a group of military police in from Fort Meade, Maryland, and they are here to train members of the 354th MP Company here in St. Louis on how to drive these rigs, a military's driver's ed of sorts, if you will, on the highways and on city streets. They are not loaded, they are not armed in any way, but the Army says that does not mean they aren't dangerous.
That vehicle is over 32,000 pounds. If they see that vehicle, it is harmless, but they need to know to stay away from it. We don't mind you all looking at it, but please stay away. Every day while we're out riding around, we get hundreds of people taking pictures and filming us, and a lot of people even swerving in our lane.
In fact, they were on Interstate 44 today coming in from Fort Leonard Wood. They say they had one man trying to drive and take pictures at the same time. They had a kind of a last-minute unintended class in evasive maneuvers to avoid a wreck. So they're warning, be careful around what is an unusual sight in St. Louis, which you may see between now and next Friday when this training is complete. Live in St. Charles County, Casey Nolan, News Channel 5.
And that's the police. That's the police.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to GGN. This is part 2. Check out my website, ggnonline.com, and I'm sorry that there won't be any links on here until further notice. So you just saw this video. I tried getting it, the actual video from the news website, but either way, yeah, I mean, when I first saw this video, the first thing I thought was all those articles that I've read before where it says that the military and the Army, when they do these martial law type training exercises, they would say, oh, we don't want to scare the public, but they actually do want to scare the public, because they say it in their reports and their public press releases where they say they want to make it, they want to simulate an urban environment as much as they possibly can. So that indicates that they want people to be kind of scared and not tell them a damn thing about what they're doing. So, but this, of course, is training what? The military police to drive tanks on U.S. streets. I mean, they can do this on a military base in a closed course on a base, right? They don't have to go out there and do it in an urban environment like on streets in the city. I'm just surprised that they didn't just shut down the whole damn city or town, right? Because they were doing this exercise. Just shut it all down. Kind of like when Obama goes somewhere. They just shut the whole city down, declare a no-fly zone, shoot-to-kill orders. But as far as this goes, this Memorial Day weekend at South Beach 2012 with the drone, the police drone, it was all based off this. Memorial Day weekend revelers say, what police crackdown? And it says here the crowd showed the numbers Friday and scoffed at suggestions that police were cracking down on partying. Well, that's because they didn't see them, because they were spying on them with little drones. So that's how it is now. If it's passive, it doesn't exist. And we're going to get into that in this video with digital surveillance of information. Why is the EPA spying on cattle ranchers in Nebraska and Iowa? It says here, Megyn Kelly provided clarification on the story, saying that we identified and discussed the aircraft as being unmanned drones. In fact, the EPA is flying these missions and taking pictures from manned aircraft. We apologize for the confusion. So this is all over, well, I guess they're concerned that the farmers are disposing of waste properly. And remember, up in the Dakotas, there's actually the first American that's going to be arrested based off surveillance evidence of a drone. And I think they were cattle ranchers as well, having a dispute. It's too bad that the EPA can't actually use their infrastructure to protect the environment by going up in, at least 20,000 feet, because most of us on the ground that look at these aerosols, i.e. chemtrails, we don't have our own personal aircraft that we can fly up there and either A, shoot them down out of the sky, or B, just get pictures of them and see and show that the aerosols, the chemicals are being basically mixed in with the jet exhaust and the jet fuel, and it's coming out as exhaust. I wish we can get some footage of that from the EPA. Maybe they can do that sometime while they're up there, because that's a big environmental problem. But I don't think that's going to happen. Federal authorities raid frozen flea markets as people are becoming more desperate as the economy deteriorates, and we're told that it's all normal and we got to accept austerity and less and less and less. People go to flea markets to buy, well, cheaper goods because they don't have a lot of money. Well, yeah, sorry. Actually, all because of some little old ladies with counterfeit goods. They basically carried out an entire raid on this flea market. Look at that. Look at that thing. Look at that big ass truck they had there, man. Woman sues city of Tulsa for cutting down her edible garden. Most of you have probably seen this. But she got a letter from the city saying there had been a complaint about her yard. And she said here that she took pictures with the city inspectors, but they wouldn't listen, so she invited them to come to her home so she could point to the problem areas. Everything needs to go, Morrison said. They told her. So when she heard they wanted to cut it all down, she called police. The officer issued her a citation so it could be worked out in court. So that's after it's all cut down, right? And takes time. So, as the economy gets bad, people want to grow their own food. Good luck, right? So then we have DEA agents terrorize the wrong family, including children, after license plate mix-up. So, oops, yeah. So it says here the agency could be held liable for a botched raid during the early morning in 2007 when agents burst into a mobile home in California, guns drawn, after mixing up a suspected drug dealer's license plate. So, but this is justified violence, right? Because because drugs are bad, and we could eventually stop all people from using them. And we need license plates. So no, actually we don't need numbers attached to our cars, and we don't need drug raids because, well, it's what people are putting in their own bodies. They can do what they want, right? People are putting pharmaceutical drugs in their bodies. They can put heroin in their body if they want, right? Well, wrong. So you're a slave. So you need a number attached to you, like a social security number, a license plate. And because you don't really own that property, you register, you transfer ownership, you have to have a little tag there. So and you got to pay your yearly tax, which is your license plate registration tax. So, and as far as this whole thing goes, I mean, how do you think the CIA funds all of these little proxy wars, right? They have to do it through illegal drug trade like heroin and opium and cocaine and marijuana. Yeah, that's all your government that's doing that. So, but we need a government to stop all that. So if you can see the rationality of it, APD police policy training changes on horizon after dog's fatal shooting. So yeah, this is a fatal shooting in East Austin a few months ago, and basically they shot this dude's dog. So it happens a lot now. Now they're going to get training about it, 2-hour training, right? About not how to be douchebags and shoot people's dogs. I understand why the cops would do stuff like that because they're scared. They don't know what the dog's going to do. But I don't believe in cops. I don't think they should be encroaching on people's property. So, official Olympic starter banned from firing pistol at schools. Sports day by health and safety because gunshot might frighten children. So, yeah, suggests that playing iPod gunshot sound instead. An iPod gunshot sound instead. So parents brand the ruling ridiculous and accuse the council of tying itself in knots. So this, of course, is programming. I mean, you're seeing it in TV, gun violence, killing everywhere. You see it in the movies. You got to kill everybody to survive. You versus the world of zombies and stuff like that. So they're promoting it. You see all of these little SWAT team costumes at Walmart and stuff like that. for children, and then it's all SWAT and Army and Special Forces and guns and machine guns. So they definitely want them to know about it. But they want it to be so that only the government can have guns. So they don't want anything that has to do with civilian or non-government having guns. DoD, Department of Defense, could renew push to restrict personal weapons. Pentagon appears ready to take on gun rights advocates this year in order to give commanders the ability to restrict troops at high risk of suicide, which is more suicides in Afghanistan than actual troops dying in combat, from keeping their personal firearms easily available in their homes. So they're supposed to be over there fighting for our freedom so they can carry firearms in their home. Well, sorry, you're not free. That's the problem. Wrigleyville's man's throat slash in random attack. So it says here, the incident, Schmidt said, has strengthened his views in opposition of Illinois' concealed carry laws. So it says, and now it's justified for us to be carrying weapons, Schmidt said. If they are, so should we. So the FBI is getting a broader role in coordinating domestic intelligence activities, an expanding role in coordinating domestic intelligence gathering activities of the CIA and other agencies under a plan enacted this year by the Director of National Intelligence. Although the CIA is best known for its spy spook networks overseas, the agency has stations in most major cities, probably has a lot of mayors on payroll. Then we have a unified vision promoting NATO intelligence advances. The NATO says the core of Unified Vision 12 is our ability to share sensor data among the allies, while cities are using AI or artificial intelligence for pre-crime monitoring of surveillance videos. So it goes on and talks about a programming brainwashing show, talking about using a CIA agent as a character, but in reality, San Francisco, Houston, El Paso, Texas, Alabama, reported the site of the World Trade Center in New York, among others, have purchased the kind of software to detect and report suspicious or abnormal behavior. The European Union and Homeland Security are also developing their own pre-crime detection systems. It says the software uses artificial intelligence to learn which items and movements could indicate a potential threat. Next up, we have Mind's Eye. This is actually older. You can go and check this story out. Just type in the headline. Mind's Eye, DARPA's new thinking camera will transform the world of surveillance. Then we have the future of drone surveillance, swarms of cyborg insects. So the National Security Agency, or the NSA, says it would violate your privacy to say if we spied on you. So it says here the surveillance experts of the NSA won't tell two powerful United States senators how many Americans have had their communications picked up by their agency as part of a sweeping new counterterrorism powers. And I go on a limb and say that almost every representative in Congress is tracked, right? They're bugged. We're all, quote, bugged. And so that pretty much settles it, right? Call for Ray Bradbury to be honored with Internet Error Message. So that's right. It says a new status code to reflect Internet censorship could be named after Ray Bradbury's most famous novel, Fahrenheit 451, which is one of the few books I actually remember reading in school that was decent. But most people probably didn't even get the damn point, because they're probably out right now reading that same story on a Kindle Fire, right, for burning books. And no surprise here, many of you have seen this, the CIA and NSA may have infiltrated Microsoft to write malware. So we know that these big companies are actually extensions of the government, a big corporation. So it makes sense that they would input code and all that into these operating systems. We have Axiom Corporation, the faceless organization that knows everything about you. An Arkansas company you probably never heard of knows more about you than some of your friends, Google, and even the FBI, and it's selling your data. So go in there and check that out, Axiom Corp. Google reports alarming rate of government censorship. So it says here, when it comes to court orders demanding information, Brazil, followed by the United States and Germany, lead the way. No, not Iran, not North Korea, not Syria. From the EU Observer, EU hands personal data to U.S. authorities on daily basis in cooperation of combating terrorism. Remember, if you buy some waterproof matches, you could be a terrorist. So they're going to track those financial transactions. House bill extends TSA intelligence sharing to mass transit. The TSA already shares intelligence it collects with airports. Now they would expand TSA's intelligence sharing to local mass transit systems as well. So the TSA wants spyware to screen employees' digital activities for leaks. They're talking about when they basically send pornographic material, right? Now there's an Android application that steals contactless credit card data, and it's called Pay Card Reader. So forget the key card at your office building. This new new fingerprint reader captures fingerprints from 6 meters away. And they're talking about facial and iris recognition technology. And when asked who needs this type of security, sooner rather than later, we're all gonna need it, right? Whether you like it or not, you're gonna have it shoved down your throat. So and a UN official thinks that these drone strikes may actually be war crimes. So Obama moves to block release of files on these targeted killings because of national security. This is GGN and I'm Darko. Thanks.